It's different down here. NASCAR Thunder 2002 EA Sports. It's in a game. Rated E for everyone.
Just
big trouble off turn 4. And one car, Harvick, goes spinning to the infield. Caution is out.
Lots of damage to the rear of that car.
He was falling back, and I think the car, maybe the handle had gone away on the car, and he was just trying to ride it out to make a pit stop. But I know this wasn't what he had planned. That car is torn up.
Harvick had a 91-point lead coming into this race, and that will not be enough. So it's the first caution of the day in this Subway 300.
Talladega has a way of changing the point situation.
And it will today.
Quite honestly, that's for Talladega a one-car accident. We don't see that very often.
No, we don't. This is something we have not seen very much either, and that's Kevin Harvick's car tore up this bad. From
aerodynamics to recyclodynamics, I think, for much of that rear end.
They're going to have to go behind the wall, and NASCAR very critical here. They will give them one chance to fix this race car.
Let's see if we can see what happened here, Larry. He had drifted back. Oh, he's just down on the bottom there. I don't know if he got tapped or not.
Well, he was lucky, though. He was shooting back up the racetrack.
Let's see if he comes into view here. Already gone.
He may have gotten a little help there. You see the roof flaps deploy, but he still hit that outside wall hard.
Everybody did a good job, really good job of avoiding that spinning car. That's so hard to do here. That's all attributed to the spotter and directing you as you go by.
And no way to tell if there was contact that sent Harvick into the spin.
And there's no question, working with Richard Childress Racing, these guys will have a frame machine in the garage, and they will have to bend that rear of that frame back up, get that sheet metal back on it, get him back out there, accumulate as many points as they can.
So far, his worst finish of the year, 12th at Las Vegas. We'll be right back.
The Subway 300, presented by Labor Ready on Fox, is brought to you by Subway, showing the world how great a fresh sandwich can taste. Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back to Talladega, where it's pit stop time under caution. Joe Nemechek, Jeff Green, Jimmy Spencer, top to bottom there. Nemechek has the last pit on pit road, Nick Berggren.
Jimmy Spencer delighted with his race car, called for no change, just a two-tire change. He had been working with Purvis, but he got out way ahead of Purvis. To Matt.
A two-tire stop for Joe Nemechek. He's already pulled off pit road. No adjustments on the 87. To Steve.
Matt, same strategy for Jeff Green in that number 10. Just right side tires of fuel, small chassis, wedge adjustment to the right rear of this car.
All the lead lap cars, which means all the cars on the track. Just about. David Starr is the only car that is not on the lead lap. He had that black flag stop.
And we felt like that would be the strategy. 20-something laps on the tires. Biggest thing, get in there, get it full of gas, go ahead and get your two tires. But Joe Nemechek in 87, he won the race off pit road again. Qualified on the pole. They picked their pits by how they qualified. He had an in pit. He only had to move about 10 or 12 feet before he beat the race off pit road.
And the hood up on the 66 of Tim Fedowa. Now look way ahead, way up the track on the low side. There goes Harvick.
Hard to really say there. Just very lucky. It was only one car involved.
So it's the first caution of the day at lap 24 for Kevin Harvick's crash into the outside wall, exiting turn 4. Pit stop's complete. He's ready to go racing. How about you? We'll be back with more of the Subway 300 on Fox. Within 5 to 10 laps, if this race stays green, Brad Baker is in a little bit early.
And he really just dove off the racetrack right down in front of oncoming traffic. These guys right here, they have been racing mighty, mighty hard and mighty, mighty close.
Yeah, look at the wrinkles on Ashton Lewis's rear quarter
There's
pan.
why, bam.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Already had one. Now he's got a couple.
Give me a little more room here, bud. And if you don't, I'm going to have to push you out of my way.
Contact with Andy Kirby in that black car.
I guess you would call that at Talladega casual contact.
The second caution of the day is out. There is the result. Joe Nemechek, after his pit stop, had problems going into turn number 1.
Yeah, I just looked over and saw him. Smoke started flying out of the car and it started bottoming out on the right side, and up the track he went. And he didn't hit the wall real hard, but as you can see, he tore the whole sheet metal off the side of the car.
Darrell, he did a great job of keeping that car under control, and just kind of, it was a very light hit.
I think it must have gotten down on the inner liner and still gave him enough control that he didn't just slam into the wall.
And there's a look at Nemechek after the contact with the outside wall.
I wasn't so sure that he wasn't going to be able to chase it up there and not hit the wall, but going a little too fast for that to happen. A lot of that damage is being done by the tire itself.
Matt?
Considerable damage to the 87 car, Mike. He came on the radio and said he felt like something, maybe might have with a shock blown away, cut down the sidewall, blew out the whole side. As you can see, the whole right side of the car. What they're going to do, they're going to try to assess the damage, and if it's all possible, put right side tires on, go back out, come back in again, and make some more repairs. But boy, a tough break for this 87 car. A lot of guys picked him to be the car to beat here, especially after happy hour when he pulled out by himself and blew past the entire pack. Now he shuts it off. Boy, tough break for Brian Patty and his Cellular One-led crew.
Yeah, there's no question he had the fastest car here. I think he was riding along behind Jimmy Spencer and just kind of biding his time, if you will. And now we've got this.
Darrell looked as the car came off the wall, as we saw it going around slowly, like the right front was really towed out on it. And since Nemechek is not running for Busch Series points, if they fall off the lead lap, not much sense in continuing.
No, not really. And as they dropped that jack, I did notice that the right front bounced up and down. Haven't been near the front all day, and now they got a chance to get up there and race for the lead. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
One car at the bottom and 2 up top.
It's the big one.
Oh, there's cars everywhere.
That's the big one.
Not a question of if, but when.
When they get bunched up, particularly on restarts, buddy, you just never know what's going to happen.
You see 92, Jimmy Johnson, the 11. Here's Kenny Wallace and Biffle. They made it through. Marty Houston, who had gotten back on track up there.
You're looking at it the right way, Mike. Just look down here in turn 1 and see who's left.
Yes.
Because most of the other guys are laying up here in the corner.
David Green, there's Johnson. There is David Donohue in the 25. I see the 65, Bobby Gerhardt. The 16, that's David Starr. All involved in that wreck.
We had 22 cars on the lead lap. This crash has taken it to about 14 on the lead lap.
Rich Bickle got some damage, minor damage. He continues. And look at the litter inside turn 4. Our first thoughts go to the drivers and our hopes that everyone is okay.
This car, I believe this car started everything. He appeared to come off of the apron. It looks like that car's had a lot of damage, been hit a number of times.
It's Marty Houston. He's up on the high side of the racetrack. No, it was another blue car, Earl.
Yeah.
Looked like possibly Tim Fedowa got into the back of the blue car right there. That's David Green, I believe, in the 34 car.
That it is. 34 was the first to go around. And look at the mess that ensues behind him.
And again, Darrell, like you said, it normally happens after a restart when they're all bunched back up.
Everybody sees an opportunity and they go for it.
There are at least 13 cars involved.
Oh, yeah, the Fedewa.
Tim Fedewa getting into the back of David Green.
Fedewa had a bad weekend last weekend with some contact with several cars, and again today.
And these guys are teammates, Fedewa and David Green.
Darrell, Larry, look at the 34 and look at the left rear tire. It looked like something happened on the left rear tire. It looked like something may have come out from underneath it just as he started around. See right there?
There it is.
Yeah,
See right there?
It is.
That wouldn't have been from the contact.
No.
Something happened to the left rear tire.
No, I'm glad for Fedewa's sake, because I know he felt bad about last weekend, and he sure didn't need to be involved in something like this.
It's like because of possibly the left rear tire coming apart, David Green's speed just slowed down, and Fedewa just got in the back of him.
Now,
Larry, I'd also
26
wonder how
ring.
far did he go on his left side tires? Did he put on 2?
There's Donohue caught up in it. Jimmy Johnson, the 92. Hamilton with
Gets
damage.
a little damage.
Looking out of Bobby Hamilton Jr. He got a little bit of damage right there on the left rear, but considering where he was, that was minimum.
At 27, Jamie McMurray on the right to the accident list.
Well, when Fedewa moved up, Donohue had to go up. That put him into the 11 car.
Add the 77. Mike Harmon.
We saw Mike Skinner in a 21 car all the way down 2 lanes below the apron.
Minor damage to Hamilton, Biffle, and Jay Sauter. Drivers walking away. We'll take a break, come back, and recap this. Give us a chance to check and make sure that everyone is okay. Add the 67 of Skip Smith to the accident toll. We'll be right back. '89 laps complete in the Subway 300, presented by Labor Ready on Fox. A quick rundown of the cars involved. There is David Donohue's going out of the race on a rollback, and that car, no matter who's in it, has been snake bit. There's David Green, the car that initiated the crash. Jimmy Johnson's car going up on the hook. We have David Starr involved. That's Jay Sauter is, or rather Tim Sauter, one of McMurray. 4 cars involved that were able to continue. This one, of course, Jamie McMurray's could not. Now, Bobby Hamilton Jr. has damage and continued. So did Andy Kirby and Rich Bickle. Other cars involved include the 67 of Skip Smith, 77 Mike Harmon, 65 Bobby Gerhardt, the 11 of Marty Houston. There's the 77, or rather what's left of it, and the 16 of David Starr were all involved in that crash coming into turn 3. Let's have another look and show you what really caused all this.
Yeah, but first look, you know, their cars are right up here. And at first look, it looked like that maybe Fedewa had gotten into the back of David Green. But then on further review, watch the car. See that rubber tire roll out from under there, the tread off the tire? I don't believe Fedewa ever even touched David Green.
And I think this picture will tell the story.
So look way at the left corner of your screen.
There's Fedewa
right there. Looks real close, but the tire comes apart. Car starts to go around. Fedewa actually does a pretty good job. It forces the 25 into the 11, but he made no contact with the 34.
Thanks to all our good camera work, we was able to prove that Tim Fedewa did not get in the back of his teammate.
He'll be a happy camper.
And a really tough break for David Donohue, who got bumped by Fedewa up into the 11 of Marty Houston, and everything went haywire from there. Jeannie?
Well, we caught up with David Green. First and foremost, how are you doing?
Got hurt, but all my sense and safety stuff did its job, and I feel fine. Cars tore up pretty bad. We got to thank Aquavelva, AFG, all of our sponsors. Going to be a decent day, but I don't know what happened right there, but sure got turned around and all hell broke loose. But I'm okay. Root for my brother Jess. Hopefully he'll do all right. But I got to thank my sponsors. Brand new sponsor on board this weekend, Aquavelva. And all the support AFG's done with those folks, and continue out throughout the year. It's awful exciting, but This is tough. I hate this. Two years in a row here at Talladega.
Good to hear you're doing okay, though. We do have a question. Just watching some of the tape, we saw a tire floating around out there. So a question of if you ever worked or changed on any of those left side tires in this race.
You know, we made a pit stop right there. We had to pit early for gas, and that really hurt us right there. And we were the tail end of the lead lap, and we made a stop, and we changed 4 Goodyears. So, you know, the car had been loose all day, and then right there it was extremely loose. But I thought I got hit in the back right there. But, hey, if a tire come off, maybe that's what happened. All I know is it turned around, and, well, I got hit a ton. Felt like a ping pong ball. But, again, got to thank my sponsors, and I'm okay. So go back, go to California.
Bottom line, you're doing okay. Thank you. Mike?
Thanks.
Well, Jeannie, that car will not be going to California. Well, here's the hit list from Talladega of the cars involved in that crash as they work on Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s. All of these cars in numerical order were involved in some way. At least 4 of them have been able to continue.
16 cars, a third of the field.
That's why we call it the big one. Cleaning up this caution, the 3rd of the day. Coming off turn number 4, and we'll be back to the fastest speedway on earth right after this word. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Fox welcomes you back to the Subway 300 presented by Labor Ready. We are currently under caution. Mike McLaughlin is your leader. The 3rd caution flag of the day. A spectacular 16-car crash here. Let's check on someone involved in that with our Jeannie Zalasko. Jeannie?
Yes, Chris, here with Marty Houston, who said this is the first time you ever had the breath completely knocked out of you, but the good news is it's back and there are no broken ribs. You're doing okay, yes?
Yeah, after a few minutes, I got my breath back. Just a massive wreck. You know, you worry about that at Talladega, and it's something that's on your mind, and you know, sure enough, there it was. I think from what we're hearing, David had a problem with the tire, and I never saw it coming, never saw it start, just got pinched up in the wall. Up to that point, you know, we were pretty happy. Channel Lock Chevy was running good. We tried to stretch our fuel mileage as far as we could, and we came down, and the guys on Channel Lock crew did a good job on the stop, but we had a carburetor problem, couldn't get the car back going, so we went a few laps down, and from that point, pretty much trying to avoid what happened and get a good day for Channel Lock. But you know, that's Talladega. I've always said I enjoyed this place, and I've always said I've never been in one of the big wrecks, and now I've been in one of the big wrecks, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, and you have the memento of some strap bruises, but you're doing okay. Dick Berggren?
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson's car is behind us right now, or at least what's left of a car. The nose of that thing is all torn off. Radiator is out of it. Jimmy, you okay?
Yeah, that hurt. That's amazing. You don't realize how fast you're going. You kind of lull yourself into a daze. And got hit 4 or 5 times, and it looked like Fidua turned a blue car. I don't know who it was, but turned him around, and it was all over from then. I'd run over from behind. But real shame. We started 29th. We're coming up through the pack. I think everybody back at the shop and everybody here behind me, I think they're bored. I don't think the car's going to make it back on the track, but they're going to try to get it together so we can get out and get going. So I'll just take a few Excedrin tonight, and I'll be all right.
All right, we're glad you're okay. To Chris Myers.
Daryl, who rang the bell? This is not the last lap, but it looks like it.
It is for Jimmy Spencer. Every lap's the last lap for him. He's got to get.
Whoa! That's Jason Keller, 57 cars. Something was going on with that car. Christian Elder, nowhere to go in the 38. Something was going wrong with Jason Keller. He dropped to the apron, shot back up the racetrack.
4th caution of the day at lap 97 as Keller's car rolls helplessly into the wall and to a stop.
How unfortunate. Great run last week. Same thing for Christian Elder there, his car.
And both the point leaders come to grief here in Talladega. Now trying to get back to the flag, and there's contact between Biffle and the car up on the high side. That is Mike Skinner as they come to the flag.
These guys do rate back to the caution flag this close to the end of the race. Any position you can get is going to help you on the restart.
There's Jason Keller. He is okay.
See if we can see what happened in this case here. He's right around the bottom of the racetrack. He drops down on the apron. Oh, when he dropped down on the apron, I believe he may have been going. I think he might have been trying to get out of the way. I think he felt something wrong, and when he got down on the apron, the car just took off with him.
Daryl, from 36 degrees, that apron's not quite flat, but isn't that a pretty serious transition?
Yeah, you can't drive down there. I mean, you can come up to speed down there, but you sure can't get down there when you're up to speed. He's wobbling a little bit back. You see a touch of smoke I believe he had something go wrong with that car.
Dick, what was the problem?
Well, the crew says it was a tire. Ironically enough, he had been running at the finish of 36 straight races, just like Kevin Harvick all the way back to year 2000 in Atlanta. So I'm sure they're going to work hard on this thing and try to get it back out. But it's going to be a lot of work to do that and not much time in which to do it.
And the innocent victim, hard on the brakes, Christian Elder, going high to get around Keller and just runs out of room. Keller comes right up into him.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything. Backed right up in front of him. But you see that 57 car, Keller's car, starts to wiggle just a little bit. He felt it. He tried to get down out of the way, and when he did, he got down on the apron. He was going fast, and the car just shot back up on the racetrack.
And Darrell, you just can't carry much speed down on an apron. Plus, the apron's very dirty. A lot of trash down.
Yeah, and if he had, in fact, had a problem with his left rear tire, I mean, that's just like going down there and spinning the thing out.
And though we did not see it, Christian Elder did climb out of his race car, and there he is. He is okay. Again, very good news.
Unfortunately, called a caution.
And then Joe Nemechek, who led for a time, two-time winner in this race, scrapes the wall, creating problems. And then on lap 87, the loose tire from David Green causes major havoc.
Large wreck. You can see here from the 20 car right here. This right here is Mike McLaughlin, our leader right now, as he threads his way through this big wreck. Fortunately, he got through. Now he's leading.
And again, no serious injuries after the restart. Lap 97, Jason Keller with problems. Christian Elder runs into him.
Yeah, it looked like
Looked like a problem there. Both were okay. Then with 8 laps to go, Jeff Purvis, teammate of Mike McLaughlin, the leader, he has problems wrecking, able to walk away from that without any serious injury as well. Mike McLaughlin, your leader, under the caution flag. Jimmy Spencer second, Mike Skinner third, and Jeff Green is currently running fourth. So we've had a lot of activity, and yes, we can hang around for a terrific finish here.
Well, I tell you what I like. After pit stops, you never know who's going to emerge out of the pack as a new contender.
Oh, trouble. One car sideways in turn 4 and down to the grass and one to the wall. That's Kelly Denton down on the infield grass. And the 49 of Robbie Faggart, which spun up and hit the outside wall after Denton's spin.
Yeah, I think he saw that 54 car go around, and Robbie Faggart kind of locked it up and spun it out himself.
That's a new ride for Denton, the car he'll be in the rest of this season.
Got collision centers written on the side of it. He's going to go visit those folks.
Yeah, that's a little dented. And Faggart's car, another a body shop would be a good sponsor for an auto race team. A necessary one. Only the second caution of the day, but they come in quick succession here.
You can just about count on that. You know, you go forever, no cautions, and we get them all grouped up, and for whatever reason, we always seem to have a few cautions right afterwards. Well, Faggart's way up out of the groove there, and in the loose stuff. Around he goes.
Meanwhile, Kenny Wallace has taken his car to the garage. Here's another look. And there's Denton.
I believe this is what I think Robbie Faggart probably saw. Excuse me, Denton sideways and tried to go high, got in the loose stuff, spun his car.
Kenny Wallace to the garage, third DNF in last 4 races. Overheating for Wallace.
Yeah, it's too bad for Kenny. He just can't get any love.
And a look back.
Oh, there's what happened. Yeah, he checked. Purvis checked up. Faggart had to go out to the right to miss him.
So the second caution of the day is on the speedway. Will anyone pit? We'll find out when we come back to NASCAR on Fox, presented by Napa Auto Parts.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing, presented by Napa Auto Parts, brought to you by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer, and by Redwind Comfort Force Work Boots with Super Soul 2.0, boots that work all day.
Cleaning up the second caution of the day, and only the 2 cars involved in the incident made stops on pit road. Meanwhile, Rich Biffle has come back into the race after a stay in the garage area. We'll be right back. Nemechek climbed out of his car and walked away after bringing out the first caution of the evening down in turn 1. You can race here 3 wide,
But like I said, when you get down to the turn down there, something has got to give.
In this case,
Nemechek really takes his. Wow. He wants that bottom line, and the problem is there's two other cars there. I guess he just didn't want to get in on the outside up in that slick stuff, so he tried to forge his way down in front of Randy LaJoie, and that just wasn't going to happen.
Not enough racetrack to do that.
No, not yet. Now, you know, if the groove was widened out some, maybe he could have carried it in on the outside and made it stick, but I think he was worried about making it stick.
That's Steve Park on the bottom, LaJoie in the middle.
But that's what happens to you here. You can come down this big wide front straightaway, and that 31 car down on the inside of the 7 car, they're right down next to the 31's right next to the apron, 7's in the middle, and there's nowhere for anybody else to go.
Now LaJoie has made a pit stop, so has Jason Keller, and Matt Kenseth has made a stop with the hood up to correct that throttle sticking problem. And the 8 car, that is Jeff Falk, in as well.
The 17 car come in, he opened up the hood, and what they probably did was just move the air cleaner around. The throttle linkage sets so close to the underside of the air cleaner, if you happen to get it caught just a little bit when you put it back on, then the throttle can hang in it.
Steve's down there. Steve?
Darrell, you're exactly right. Matt Kenseth was very concerned to even push.
Tell me later. Hey, here we go. Trouble down here in turn 4.
Wow, 4 cars are in it. The first to spin around was the 49 of Joe Busch, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. is part of it, and there's 1 car stopped up by the wall. That is the 49, so there's Hamilton trying to get away from the 20 of Mike McLaughlin. Second caution of the night comes out at lap 81.
So we can see what happened here. I looked up and just saw a whole gaggle of cars. 26 car, oh, he's down under that. The 49 car there. Joe Busch, he's been kind of a slow car out there, and they've been passing him left and right, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. tried to go under him down on the bottom side.
Tim Sauter in that 61, he didn't really get by. He went all the way to the inside, but got clipped a little bit on the right front.
From McLaughlin's onboard.
That 49 car was trying to get out of the way, but
there's where Tim Sauter in the 61 come through there.
There's nothing any harder than driving a slow car, believe it or not. It's really hard. How about it, Dick?
Well, Jimmy Spencer's on his way in. It's going to be a 4-tire change for him, as well as for the number 21 car that's been dogging him all day. We can see a little bit of it in the grill, but really not very much. Matt Hunter is the guy on the front tire. You heard of him. He's a race car driver. Today he's changing tires, however. Johnny Allen, the crew chief, is the guy on the back tires. Nice stop. And the number 1 is off first, but the 21 has beaten him out. Steve Burns.
Dick, 4 tires for Jeff Green and a half turn down on the left rear corner for that number 10 car. And he beats him down on pit road.
He'll be third coming off the pits, and it appears that Spencer has beaten Skinner out of the pits.
Heard him talk about Matt Hunter changing tires. Matt's dad, Ron Hunter, built a lot of the motors for a lot of these Busch Grand National cars.
And guess what? Now the tables have turned somewhat, because guess who's leading the race? Matt Kenseth. So now the best thing that could happen to him a while ago was long green. Now he's in a box. He's got 40 or so laps on his tires and fuel, and these other guys have got fresh tires and fuel. So now he's out of sync with everybody. The question is, how will the cards fall? Will he end up in front at the end of the night, or will Spencer end up in front at the end of the night?
And probably one reason he didn't come to pit road to get his second set of tires. Remember, only 3 sets. He didn't want to use up his second set with 170 laps to go. That would be a little bit iffy.
But he's got his track position back. So even if he loses a few spots, he's better off than he was.
So a lot of it hinges on when that next caution will fall.
Exactly.
And we know he's got his throttle fixed. That's the main thing.
A wreck in turn 4 puts us under the second caution of the night.
Everywhere. Watch this. That's Joe Busch in the 49 on the outside. He's trying to get out of the way, and he...
Whoa, front straightaway. Rich Biffle and Tim Sauter get into it, and we're under caution for the 3rd time tonight at lap 96. Didn't see how that one started, I believe, but Sauter was spinning when Biffle, trying to avoid him, got into him and finished the job as they came underneath the caution flag.
Of course, Tim Sauter, he was involved in that earlier wreck down there in turn 4, got clipped on the right front when Ryan Newman and those guys spun down there in turn 4 a few laps ago.
Elton Sawyer, he's got some damage to his car too, I believe, down in the pits there, that somehow he's got smoke all coming out the side of it over there.
Looks like that may be motor related.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I just
exhaust pipe.
saw him coming down pit road, smoke everywhere.
Steve?
Yeah, guys, the hood's up on the 98. Ricky Byers, the crew chief, looking lots of heavy smoke coming from the exhaust pipe. They have not shut down the engine yet, but it does not look good for the 98 of Elton Sawyer.
This car goes to New Hampshire next week in the colors of the Yukon Huskies. They're involved with several colleges and universities around the country throughout this racing season.
She don't sound so healthy.
Sounds like it's hitting on about 6 of the 8 cylinders.
Yeah.
There's Sauter going around and Biffle with him as Brad Baker breaks free and scoots to the inside.
Pretty hard to tell what started all that. Looked like the 61 car definitely got around, but I don't know why.
23 cars are on the lead lap. Ryan Newman makes a stop.
Another one of those young lions.
It don't look like they're changing tires. Look like they're just trying to make sure all the fenders is off of the tires, because again, he was one of the cars that was on pit road just some 10 or 12 laps ago and got 4 fresh tires.
And he is one of those lead lap cars. Mike McLaughlin's in-car cameras had a busy night. Let's ride with him again. And we'll be back to Richmond International Raceway on FX after this.
Back all the way to 14th, just in that half to 3/4 lap. We got trouble.
Turn 2.
The Marines.
David Donohue. Caution is on the speedway.
I think he had a little help.
I think he did too, but that car just seemed to attract it.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's Chad Chaffin or David Donohue.
It doesn't matter.
That
just
car
seems to attract it.
Has had a bullseye on it.
I can't recall a race where that car hadn't gotten torn up. See if we can see what happened here. Whoops.
Oh yeah, he and Purvis.
Jeff Purvis.
Jeff Purvis in the 18 car. Boy, David Green, that 34 car, all the way down on the apron, just barely gets by.
More than likely, if Donohue could have seen where he was going, without all the smoke, he might have been able to avoid the wall. Here he goes around, gassing her up. That's just trying to keep the tires turning, keep the momentum up.
Very hard to tell if he came down or Purvis came up, but it looked like...
Let's look at it again. It looks like Purvis moved up.
Watch the smoke here. It'll turn yellow. What that is, that's the sealer smoke. The sealer that's on this racetrack, when they spin and cause the smoke, it's actually a yellow smoke.
Yeah, he couldn't even, I can guarantee he could have avoided that wall, I believe, if he could have seen. How about
pulling up on Hal Goodson there, and here's what we thought was going to bring out a caution.
I mean, I just knew this was a caution. Watch this. You don't usually save them down through here like this, sideways, got that old wobble in her. But he got it slowed up, caught it, and away he went.
Jamie Murray in the 27 car hit by Tim Sauter in the 61.
And there's Goodson and Wimer just barely working their way around there. Jimmy Spencer, whoa, threads the needle between Larry Foyt and that the slow car of 49, Joe Busch.
Boy, Harvick's car really goes through the middle of the corner right now. Gets good bite up off the corner.
Harvick's starting to look a little impatient, sitting back there behind Spencer.
Here's that squeeze play. All right, everybody, out of my way, out of my way. I'm coming through.
I got to come through. I got Harvick right behind me.
That's right. Skinner there.
If you notice, he's got a lot more brake opening, cooling the brakes.
Oh, trouble. Hal Goodson.
Hal Goodson
is one of 2 cars involved at turn 2. I think Chad Little was the other. Excuse me, Jamie McMurray is the other.
Looks like he's going slow down the back there.
Oh, what a shame. The All-Pro champion trying to make his mark in Busch Series racing, and he's made a big mark, but it's on the turn 2 wall. A lot of damage.
And guess what I just saw? Now, you're not going to believe this. Jimmy Spencer slowed down so Mike McLaughlin, his friend from Talladega, could get a lap back.
So he must have forgot.
He forgot.
Okay.
No.
He did. You watch, I'm telling you.
Let's see what happened to Hal Goodson. Wow.
Man.
Like that
McMurray.
Jamie McMurray in the 27 car.
And guys, that is a hard lick. And that's too bad for Hal Goodson. He's a good guy. He runs the Hooters Cup a lot and runs some All-Pro and he runs a lot of different series. I hope he's okay.
A lot of damage to that car.
Yeah, he's moving around in the car, and he now owns a former Busch car.
Yeah, this is as far as I know, it's the first time he's run a Busch race. At least in quite some time.
Yep.
Well, he's getting out, so he's a tough guy.
And he's okay.
Is he all right? Yeah, I think I'm all right.
That was a hard hit.
It really was.
At turn 2. Getting everything unhooked.
Well, you literally have to get out of the car and stand up before you're really sure, because it stuns you. Just like somebody walked up and busted you right in the gut real hard. It takes you that long before you know if you're all right or not. I think he's probably got a little more damage than he thinks he does.
Puts us under caution for the 5th time tonight. Pit road is closed for the time being.
I gotta believe, Darrell, we're sitting on 90 laps to go, that when they do open pit road, our leaders are going to be on pit road. Most of our leaders was back on pit road at lap 80, which was roughly 80 laps ago. Of course, Matt Kenseth was on pit road at lap 112, which was about 50 laps ago. I believe they'll all come to pit road and get that final set of tires. They all could make it here the rest of the way on fuel for sure.
Well, you don't want to end up with a new set of tires in the pits. You'd like to have them on the car, but track position is mighty critical here.
Oh, absolutely.
89 laps to go. You'd think now might be a good time to come and get them.
22 cars on the lead lap. Like cars.
We're under caution. We'll be right back to Richmond on FX.
Lyndon Amick in the 35 car. As the race opens, you can see even the lighting a little bit different here, and a little contact with Randy LaJoie.
Yeah, this trying to run 3 abreast out the corner doesn't work. Then we see Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Joe Busch getting together.
That was on lap 81 in turn 4, creating a traffic jam. And then David Donohue here. This is the 4th caution, touched by Jeff Purvis.
Exactly. This is a very tight racetrack, and anytime you just barely get touched, around you go.
And then this is the most recent caution.
That's exactly right. Hal Goodson right there took a hard lick in their turn 4 after getting
that second groove, Darrell, and these cars sticking up there. Boy, he gets a little loose off
down here.
Car in the wall, turn 2. That is Marty Houston. Everyone scatters to miss him, and we'll have the 6th caution of the day at lap 182. See anybody else involved in that. Watch this battle back to the yellow flag. These two fellows have been going at it all season, Biffle and Bodine.
Well, normally there's a gentleman's agreement that that you don't race back to the caution, particularly the guys in the front. You let the leader keep anybody that's a lap down. But track position.
And it wasn't too many races ago, Greg Biffle went to school about racing to the caution.
I believe that was at Nashville.
I believe it was. Track position. One more position gain now, be one more position on restart.
Marty Houston, the bad case of Saturday night fever. Okay, Friday night here in Richmond. 182 laps are complete. We'll be right back.
Position up off the corner. Maybe rub a little bit. There's Kenseth back there saying, want to go 3 wide, boys?
Now just,
oh, here we go.
Oh, around goes Biffle.
Hard into the outside wall.
Oh, that's too bad.
Just ahead of Harvick, it appeared something was wrong with Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s car. A lot of smoke was coming from the left front. Harvick was right behind him, and as they went off into the corner, got up into Greg Biffle.
Bobby Hamilton's been having a left front fender rubbing a tire. I saw that. Here he comes. Boy, this is treacherous. Whoa, look out here, boys. Look out. Now he's going to make it.
He's trying to make that lap up, and he will make it up.
Man.
The blimp's eye view should be a good one. Try to determine what happened here.
Here goes Harvick and Biffle down in there, and it's Bobby Hamilton right in front of them. They just
Kevin Harvick was as low as he could go on the racetrack.
Biffle came down right almost to the yellow line.
Just didn't want to give him the room, and he paid the price. Not a good decision.
Yeah, Harvick was below the yellow line with his left side tires.
Can't really fault Harvick for that.
And stacked up right behind them were Kenseth and Green, lucky to get through.
The next guy that was lucky is Biffle, sitting up here in the middle of the racetrack, and the 26 car, who was right ahead of this crowd, comes around to make up a lap, and Biffle sitting right in the middle of the track.
Let's ride with Kevin Harvick through this.
Oh, it's too bad.
And from Kenseth.
Kevin Harvick, he had his left side tires down on the apron below the yellow line.
That's one of those racing deals, you know. I hate to say that, but sometimes, you know, one guy's trying to hold the other guy off, and that's what happens.
Greg Biffle, you see, is okay. Let's meet another fellow who's had a hard hit tonight. Jeannie?
Yes, earlier.
And what happened to Greg Biffle?
Coming off turn 2 there, they start to get a little close down through there, but no harm, no foul there. But Harvick clearly there, and Harvick's car didn't appear to go up the track. It was more like Biffle's car came down the track. So I'd have to say that
he was anticipating.
He had to take my cue. I knew he was
trouble turn 2, and it's Bodine that goes around as he and Kenseth were battling for position. Wow. Todd Bodine whacks the turn 2 wall.
Boy, that's another hard driver's side lick, man.
And caution is out again.
Well, I hate when they hit on the driver's side.
8th caution at lap 226.
I can't tell you how that just puts a chill in me, because I know how badly it hurts.
Now Bodine and Kenseth were battling side by side and came up on a bit of traffic.
See if we get a look at it here, see what happened. Hit it off down the corner. Oh, it's just another classic deal where the guy on the outside just can't. There's not enough room out there because it's slick, and you got to try to force your way down to the inside.
And Darrell looked like Todd was trying to use that 8 car as a pick and pin Kenseth behind it.
Yeah, I believe he was. I mean, he makes a sudden turn to the left. I mean, he's coming down the hill and trying to pin Kenseth behind that 8 car. You're exactly right, Mike.
And pays the price.
Yeah. And you know, when we do that, normally it's in slow motion, and I can't tell you how hard that hits, and especially on the driver's side. Watch this. This is a little more real time. Bam, that thing comes up off the ground. That just makes my old bones hurt when I see that.
There's Todd.
I don't believe Todd's very happy.
But he's okay. That is the main thing.
He's going to tell.
Asking Matt what happened.
More like, why did that happen?
Well, let's get Matt Kenseth's view.
Yeah, I think he was really just trying to pin him down as much as he could behind that 8 car, and it didn't work too hot.
Kevin Harvick had quite a view of this.
Definitely don't think Matt Kenseth moved up the racetrack in the 17.
It's the same thing that we saw with Biffle and Harvick over there. The guy on the outside is just trying to force the guy on the inside down as far as he can, and they get together, and they're doing 150 miles an hour into that corner.
It's a tough deal. They're still side by side. The 17's kind of in his blind spot. You know he's there. You know he's going to be there when you get to the lap car.
That's one of those moves you make, and you hope you make it.
Two laps to go. Kevin Grubb makes a pit stop under this caution as Matt Kenseth holds his 4th position.
And you know, he certainly hopes nothing happened to his tires here as they got together. It looks like all the tires are up right now. It's going to be real important for these guys to keep their tires cleaned off here. None of our leaders come to pit road. Now, a couple of guys is at the back of the lead lap pack, Chad Little, and I think also Kevin Grubb. They did come in the pits, which is not a bad move.
But I believe that's a good thing for Jimmy Spencer, because his car is good on the short run. And now, probably not going to catch a lot of lap traffic with only about 20 laps to go when they take the green. So I think this is a good thing for Jimmy Spencer.
Well, let's see if it's
trouble down the back straightaway.
A crash into the infield tire wall. Now that's where the road course goes to the outfield. That's the 17 of Clay Rogers, one of 2 cars involved. The other is 43.
Jay Sauter.
But those tires are piled there for a reason during the sports car and motorcycle events. They're on the asphalt of turn, what there is turn 3, and you see where it crosses the track to go to the outfield road course section. But it puts us under caution quickly. And now, Larry, let's talk strategy right away. All right, you've only run a couple of laps in those pace laps. Now you got a caution period. Do you splash and go?
Well, I think if I'm one of the cars at the very back of the field, yes, but I don't think this is enough laps that will do it. But the thing that will add up in fuel mileage is caution laps. Remember, 2 caution laps equal 1 green lap. These guys that was maybe in that 95 lap range, they possibly could do it with enough cautions.
Jamie McMurray inside of Rogers. Here comes Sauter.
Looks like Jay Sauter in the 43, something you get here a lot is that late exit off the corner push. The car won't turn. His car just went up into Clay Rogers.
This track is so flat, not a lot of banking to help you up off the corner there in turn 2. Jeff Hammond?
Yeah, I'm down here in the 17-car pit of Clay Rogers. Right now they're trying to move all of their crash equipment back into the garage area to repair the car. He's finally got the engine started. He'd reported in that the engine would not turn over, thinking they maybe had an engine problem. Now they're starting to settle back down. They've got it running. I guess he'll be coming back out on the racetrack now.
Looks like he's going to come back in the ambulance, make a quick trip to the care center, and they'll haul that back to the garage. Jay Sauter going to the garage with a lot of damage to his number 43. 3 laps and already the first caution of the day. Jay Sauter and Clay Rogers tangling off turn 2. So we're under yellow in the NASCAR Busch Series on FX. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. 3 laps under green, 4 under caution now as they remove Clay Rogers' car. And you can see at least the rear end of that's been knocked pretty well to the left askew. Let's watch on board. See what happened. This is riding with Clay Rogers.
Coming off turn 2 right here. He's holding his line right there. You see he just got hit right in the left rear by the 43 car. Again, nothing I don't think Jay Sauter did intentionally. Lasts forever.
Now that tire wall absorbs quite a bit of impact there, as we'll see.
Just something that happens at this racetrack. You know, you get the car turned in the middle of the corner, you're on the throttle, all of a sudden you get to go on the straightaway and the front end just don't bite into the racetrack right there on the late exit.
Oh, there's what happened to the right front when he spun off the tire wall. What that tire wall does is it sucks in, and that cushions the impact, but what it does, it draws the car into you, which then sends it out in a counterclockwise spin. I have unfortunate first-hand knowledge of that. And that banged up the right front of Rogers' car, which they are going to fix. Dick Berggren.
Well, Jay Sauter is in the garage area. Car is up on jack stands, pretty well beaten up. What happened out there?
I don't know. It's everybody was trying to get down low, and I don't know if somebody got loose. The 17 and I got together, and just all heck broke loose from there. Just want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. We'll get this quality farm and country back together, and we'll get out there and see what we can do.
It's going to take an awful lot of work to get this car out there. This thing is really trash, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. Tough break for Sauter.
All right, you see the 17 car. They've taken to the garage area on the rollback. This is only Clay Rogers' third start. You may say, why are they going to try to get the car back out there? Remember, the 17 car runs all of the races. With Matt Kenseth at a lot of races, with Clay Rogers, they are so...
Trouble, turn 3. Hamilton got in the back of LePage. I said it would get a little racy there.
It did.
And LePage ends up in the fence.
Caution is out.
What often happens at this racetrack is one driver will make a dive bomb pass into the corner, and the other driver on the outside, he's already committing to the corner, not expecting the pass. That may have been what happened
And
here.
if you get off the bottom of the racetrack, it is very slick up there till they can get some rubber down on that part of the racetrack. A lot of damage to the rear of that car. This is the same car that Bobby Hamilton Sr. drove at Nashville a few weeks ago for this team.
And LePage coming in and going right to the garage. Here's what happened as we approach turn 3. Now Santerre makes the pass. Here comes the dive bomb. Hamilton Just wasn't room right there for two cars, Larry.
No, there wasn't. Kevin LePage was needing to get to the bottom, but they're just, as you said, they run out of racetrack right there in the corner, hard in the outside wall.
Another angle of it. Yep.
I'm not sure that Kevin LePage knew Bobby Hamilton Jr. was even there.
He may well not have. And until they got right to the corner, Hamilton wasn't there.
Too late then.
He came in and the door slammed. Unfortunately, the new hinges are going to have to go on the number 1 car of LePage. A few pit stops here under caution. We'll be right back.
I'm going to do me a splash of gas because all these guys need is about 2 or 3 seconds of fuel. Again, give me that track position, especially at the end of the race.
I agree completely right there, Larry. You've got to get in and get back out there to hold that bottom line, protect it, to stay in front of a lot of these guys, and the best way to do that is get on and off pit road, or don't come to pit road like Steve Addington had that grin on his face a minute ago, like that's what they're thinking about not doing.
Trouble for Tim Fedowa, and you see the right side of that car is all used up.
Yeah,
I did not see him get the wall.
He's been against the wall, probably up off either turn 2 or up off turn 4.
Kevin Harvick's lead is now cut to less than 1 second. Jason Keller closing in with 60 laps to go at Loudon. That yellow car on the right side of your screen did not get up to speed, and a car goes spinning behind him. It is Mike McLaughlin. Caution's back out.
Mike McLaughlin was in the 8th position. Now here you see a bunch of cars trying to get their lap back. Randy LaJoie, Greg Biffle, they're going to try to get that lap back.
And LaJoie is the only one that's going to make it.
LaJoie gets it back. Greg Biffle does not get it back.
And that was likely a courtesy extended by Kevin Harvick, because as we discussed, LaJoie could have taken that last restart in front of Harvick and chose not to. Now here everybody's stacking up for Jeff Green, who did not get through turns 1 and 2. Steve Park and his old modified buddy McLaughlin get together.
Not a lot of damage to that car. They should be okay. You know, they were on the lead lap. They was in the 8th position. They came in here 5th in points, so hopefully this won't hurt him too bad. A little bit of damage to the rear of that car. They'll need to get in and do a little bit of work on it.
Yeah, he spoiled his spoiler a bit on the back of that car.
These guys, what a season they've had. One Talladega and still running around with blank quarter panels.
Let's ride with Mike McLaughlin. Everybody kind of backing up there.
You can hear him feather the throttle because he couldn't go nowhere, and Steve Park jumps on the throttle and just gets into the back of him.
Larry, it's over in an instant. It just feels like it takes forever.
I've talked to Darrell about that. He said it seems like eternity.
Yep.
There you see Randy LaJoie right behind Mike McLaughlin. Free lunch. Come to pit road. You're back on the lead lap. Get you 4 fresh tires, and maybe you can go up there and battle these guys.
Yeah, sure. Get set for the bonus round. That hammer's not near big enough.
He's okay. The 4 wheels is in the right location. Jeff Hammond, not a lot of damage there. Nothing that'll hurt him.
Push the deck lid down in the back and make the left front fender out. It seems to be the most concern of anything, to make sure they got clearance and won't be rubbing. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. No tires, no chassis adjustments, just straighten the sheet metal out. The way he goes.
Well, there are a lot of great Saturday night racetracks in this area. Star Speedway runs NASCAR Pro Stocks just down the road in Epping, New Hampshire.
Larry, I talked about some dust kicking up. I think it might have come from the 17 of young Clay Rogers.
This is going down into turn 1. Here you see Clay Rogers in the 17 car. Oh, it's kind of see why. Looked like maybe Rich Biffle in the 59 car kind of checked up. Clay Rogers had to jump on the brakes and got the car loose.
David Donohue also the 25 right behind Biffle. Looking out to reach. Right before that, rookie Scott Wimer in the 23 car came in here 10th in point, but he made contact with the wall. There he sails off to the right, Larry.
There's no question. Looks like the right front tire went down.
And he's on pit road right now. Let's check in with Dr. Dick Berggren.
Well, he had just called into his pit crew literally a lap before hitting the wall, and you are right, Larry McReynolds said that the right front tire was going down. As he went into the wall, there were sparks right out from underneath the right front corner of that car. He had no control over it. Bam, Wimer hit the wall. This is the second time he's crashed in 2 weeks. Last week it was in New Hampshire in practice.
Well, Dick, we're working caution now, not for Scott Wimer, but the 93 car of Bill Hoff has made contact. And our first caution of the day, there's Hoff. Our first caution of the day flies on lap number 19.
Be interesting to see what some of the leaders do, or any of the cars. I feel like right now they don't need tires, but if there's a question, and we've seen this last week with Jeff Green at Loudon, New Hampshire, if they think...
Tim Fedewa got sideways, and we have a car in the wall. The 48 of Kenny Wallace has hit very hard. Caution will come out again on lap 121.
They just had a lengthy pit stop with that car. The car was hung in gear, and they got it hung out of gear and put him way back in the pack. Now here's Tim Sauter in the 61 car. He's going to try to get one of his 2 laps back. So does Jeff Purvis. He gets his lap back.
And Larry, I was just about to finish saying Fedewa got squirrely, got real loose coming off 4 and looked up in the 48. Well, look at the damage to that car. Kenny Wallace in the wall hard.
That was a hard hit.
See if we can see exactly what happened to Kenny Wallace in that 48 car, Larry.
Remember, he was deep in the field. The car gets a little sideways in front of him. That looked like Mike McLaughlin. Boy, he hits that wall hard. You just can't, I mean, that's almost like a straight-on hit.
Had a big old head of steam when he went into the wall. Don't know if he got help from behind.
Just seen some cars had to check up because of Mike McLaughlin. Looked like he got a little squirrely and had to get out of the throttle. But there's the best sign in the world. Steering wheel up on the dash and wind the net down.
Well, one thing about it, Larry, you can go home with your feelings hurt. You know, tomorrow you'll be okay. The good thing is he's healthy, looks healthy.
Got one of the head and neck restraint devices on. You see it wrapped around his chest there and over his shoulders. Boy, he's had, again, Kenny's big adventures. It's just not going to end very nice.
You know, they didn't find out until 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday that Geico was, in fact, going to sponsor him for the Winston Open. They hustled up, got the truck down there, and Kenny said, you know, I've drove up here like a hillbilly to the mecca of speed, the Lowe's Motor Speedway there in Charlotte. But, boy, just an amazing adventure. He said we could make a movie of his life this season. I think we have an in-car view. Don't know if I want to look.
Coming off turn 4, down the front straightaway, you saw Mike McLaughlin in the 20 get squirrely there. Boy, you just almost got to believe he got some help from behind.
Yeah,
didn't see anything going on in front of him.
This is out of the 20 car of Mike McLaughlin.
Wow. Boy, I don't know. I bet Jamie McMurray in the 27 car, but I'm not completely sure he did anything really wrong.
No, I mean, they definitely made contact, the 27 and the 48, but it looked almost as though Kenny Wallace cut across his bow, Larry. Jamie was holding his line. Well, we're working caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. We'll get the racetrack cleaned up and come back for the completion of the Nazareth 200.
Good.
NASCAR on FX is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
We're under caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. There you see Kenny Wallace's car. Hard contact into the wall. Lap 121 is when the caution came out. Let's take a look at what happened again, Larry.
This is going to be looking out the back of Mike McLaughlin's car. Coming off turn 4 here. This is coming down the front stretch. You're going to see him wiggle right here. He gets loose, jumps up in the high groove. See, there he wiggles up in the high groove from a Jamie McMurray, the 27 car. Now, Kenny Wallace is to the bottom here. Right here. Now, they're going to make contact. But, boy, I can't say Jamie McMurray went down on him in the 27 car.
Yeah, I don't want to place blame on anyone. They definitely made contact, but hard to tell.
Well, we've talked about that corner. Jeff Hammond talked about that corner. That's a tricky corner. You're running so fast, you get on the brake, then you're almost making a 90-degree turn.
Track workers continuing to get this racetrack race ready. We have completed 126 of 200 laps. Greg Biffle is leading.
One car spinning, gets down off the racetrack. That's Ricky Hendrick.
The 24 car.
I don't believe he hit anything. He did a great job of hanging on to it, and everybody did a great job of avoiding him.
Biffle leads him back to the caution flag, the first one of the day.
Ricky's going to get going and don't think he's going to lose a lap. Michael did get his car fired up. He's going by Ricky there down the back straightaway.
Of course, it's the same car that Jeff Gordon drove some last year. In fact, this is the car that Jeff Gordon won at Homestead, Florida, the end of last year.
And that's how this car got into the field. 2 spots reserved for winning car owners in the 2000 and 2001 season, which put Jeff Burton in the field and the 24 car today with Ricky Hendrick aboard.
Now, I bet he's a little cautious. He spun at Darlington a couple of weeks ago in the truck, didn't hit anything, but blew a tire trying to get back to the pit and hit the wall.
This was looking at a Christian Elder's car.
Couldn't really see anything.
Looks like he just lost it on his own. Nobody within 3 or 4 car lengths behind him just got loose back on the throttle.
And that's not unusual with no practice to speak of.
3 laps complete. First caution of the day. We'll be right back to Charlotte. Ricky Hendrick back on the speedway as we finish up this first caution period of the day. Kenny Wallace was on pit road. Trouble turn 1, a car up close to and in the wall. 63 of Shane Hall, and there was contact before Shane Hall took off and into the fence.
And it collected Kelly Denton in the 54 car here as Shane Hall was sliding down the racetrack. Caution is back on the speedway.
Working lap 7. Biffle brings him back around to the line. Denton's car is all torn up.
Let's see if we can see what happened here, Larry. We go down into turn 1. Looks like, oh, he just runs into the back of the 54 car.
That's actually the 14 of Larry
14
Ford.
car.
Yeah, and then you see he's coming down the racetrack.
And
you're
here
going to see Kelly Denton nowhere to go.
Get a little bit better look at it here. Close in a little tighter. Got the momentum going down in the corner, and gosh,
he pretty much just did that to himself.
He did. I mean, he just slammed into the back of that 14 car. Larry
Not
Foyt.
a lot of damage till right there when Kelly Denton came in there and hit him.
Well, Foyt going in the corner had a car further inside him.
Yeah,
and just didn't carry a lot of speed in the corner. But
just don't know what what Shane Hall was. I think he just had a run, maybe.
Well, remember, folks, no brake lights on these cars.
Great overhead shot. You can see him back here 3 wide, just getting down in that corner. But Shane Hall just into the back of Larry Foyt.
Yeah, you saw Larry Foyt again, like you said, Mike. He had a car on the inside, and sometimes you don't want to carry that much speed getting in the corner on the outside of a race car. And of course, Shane Hall carried more speed, gets into the back of him. A lot of damage to the back of Larry Foyt's car.
And our thanks to the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for putting the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes based in Pompano Beach, Florida, overhead for those aerial views.
Maybe Kenny Wallace can get back in the pit and see if he can work on his car a little bit more.
Let's check with Matt Yoakum.
Bobby Kennedy's the crew chief from Michael Walsh. Your car has been sitting on pit road for numerous laps here. What is the problem? Do you know yet, Bobby?
Not exactly sure. He said he went to leave pit road and everything was fine. And as soon as he went to give it fuel under the caution lap, the pace laps there, and it started cutting out. And it seems it's either bad plugs or maybe his carburetor. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we're just going to change it all, find out. We're not running for points. We're just going to see if we can identify the problem, then, learn from it.
Well, tough break today, but right over his shoulder is Kerry Earnhardt, who will be in this car at Kentucky. To Jeannie.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The car is not good for Kenny Wallace, but he sure is lucky getting another caution because they have to change a spark plug. So, of course, his motor is off, and they believe that is the problem with the hitch in the engine. And they're taking the time here. Kenny, of course, wanting to get back out there and telling the guys, just don't let me get down. Don't let me get down.
Kenny Wallace trying to stay on the lead lap as we're under the second caution of the day here in Charlotte for Shane Hall's accident in turn 1.
He is still the trouble down here. Turn 4. Turn 4.
2 cars have crashed. Stedman Marlin is one. I think that might be Brad Baker, the one spinning toward us closest to camera. They were racing a lap down for position and have crashed at turn 4. Third caution of the day.
Of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr. being a victim to that.
Absolutely, just what you would, what your worst nightmare, Larry, as a driver and a crew chief, make your early pit stop, and while you're in the pits, a caution flag comes out.
2 young graduates in Nashville Speedway, Darrell, coming to grief here in turn 4.
Yeah, that's not the first time they've run into each other, and more than likely won't be the last. Harvick's away out of the pits, but he's lost lots of time.
See what happened here.
Going down the backstretch into turn 3, the 95, Stedman Marlin on the inside, Darrell.
He's down underneath Baker, and they get real. It's that classic suck the back end of the car on the inside around and take the air off the spoiler. You got to have a really good handling car when you go down in the corner underneath somebody like that. Even though you got the preferred line, that car on the outside will suck you around sometimes.
Definitely looked like Stedman Marlin's car moved up, not from him turning the steering wheel, but as you're saying, just the air was sucking him up there.
Got loose and pulled the back end out from under.
And for more on Dale Earnhardt Jr., here's Matt.
Mike, could be another problem. Everybody's kind of finding their way by there. Chance for some people to get a lap back. Is Biffle going to let Harvick back on the lead lap? Or
I don't think so.
Here he comes, and he does.
He did let him back.
Yes, sir.
1 of 5.
But he's so many down.
Yeah, he'll be 4 laps down now.
Or Christian Elder.
But you know what? If I was Biffle, I'd say, now look, Harvick, you stay back there somewhere else on this restart. I don't want you up here beside of me. But I'm thinking Harvick's going to say, I got to get back up there and do that again.
4 more times.
4 more times. But listen,
every time you do it, that's better.
He's better off than he was.
Absolutely.
He's a mile and a half ahead of where he was. And that's, you know what that is? That's a driver that's not real happy with anything or anybody right now.
Now, if you're Harvick's spotter, you're up here trying to become the best salesman on earth, saying, let me back up there, let me back up there.
Man, we're so far down.
Looks like Christian Elder up on the high side got loose and right up to the outside wall.
And I was just over their shop. They're here on the Speedway property the other day, and the crew chief was telling me, so kid's done a good job. He hadn't torn up any cars, and we're just trying to get him some experience.
He's Elton Sawyer's teammate that drives the 98 car.
And nice looking equipment, good cars. Brad Aiken is a car owner, and I tell you that the team's been doing a good job.
And Mike Skinner in the 21 car's back on pit road for some reason.
Now that is not expected. Let's go back to New Hampshire, where Kevin Harvick had the lead. Biffle wanted to get back on the lead lap as they raced around to caution. And after the race, there were some harsh words between the 2 combatants for the championship. But moments ago, Harvick, as Darrell pointed out, reminded Biffle he's there on the restart.
This is what makes racing so much fun. You got to deal with these same guys week in and week out.
And then Biffle goes and lets him have a lap back.
Well,
saying,
I'm sure they told him, he's 5 laps down, give him 1 back. Maybe it'll calm him down a little bit. Jeannie, how's it going down there?
Well, I'm hanging out the 21 pit where everything was going great until Mike Skinner reported a vibration.
And may make it back to the pits.
He just thought he was having a bad day when he and Stedman Marlin got together earlier. Young driver has very little experience on these super speedways. Brad Baker.
There he goes.
All by himself. Our leader, Biffle, actually had to go by all the way down on the flat part of the racetrack to get around that car that was stuck right in the middle of the racetrack. Not a good place to come to rest.
A lot of damage to that car. He brings it to pit road.
And he's gone past his pit. He's headed, I believe he's headed for the garage.
Yeah, he's got parts. He just saw his brake rotor. I don't think he's probably got any brakes. I just saw a big hunk of it. Biffle run out on pit lane to get it now. Boo, don't pick that up. There you go. He's going to kick it off in the inside.
We're 9 laps from halfway, and they have 40 laps on it.
That's why he was thinking, oh, trouble down here, turn 2, turn 2.
One car, Tim Sauter, slides to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's going to get away without further incident.
No caution. May not be a caution for that one, and that's unfortunate because that's going to hurt a lot. I hate it when they do that. There's no reason to have a caution except that all the guys that were around him had to slow down.
They're lost.
They just lost.
Really, yeah.
No, there's 8 or 10 cars back here that lost a lot of track position.
The 61, the red car, is Tim Sauter.
He just gets real loose. He was on the inside there, and I think he got sucked around. And for all the people around him, I'm sure they'd like to see him going on and stop right there maybe, but he didn't.
I think that was Ashton Lewis. Oh, check that. It's the Mike Wallace outside of him.
And see, they get close together, and the back end just, here we come.
Pulls it right up to it.
It's like a magnet. It gets a hold of you, and you just won't let go.
Kevin Grubb, the 37 car, who was right behind him, he's come to pit road to his crew's attention.
Probably maybe locked the tires up and flat spotted a tire. I understand the reason for no caution. There's no reason to have a caution, but it really hurts people that are around. We got trouble. Back there on the back, guys. Big trouble.
Scott Wimer in the 23 car. Hard into the outside wall of turn 2.
That will be a caution.
And that time, Harvick did not get a lap back. That caution came right here at the line, so he didn't have a chance.
At 104 laps, the 6th caution of the day. Scott Wimer, again coming off turn 2, Darrell. That's been calamity corner today.
It has. The car seemed to be real loose off that corner, or in the middle of it particularly. Here he is, 23 car. You can see the back end. It just starts out, and it gets that little wobble in it, and, man, it just makes contact with that outside wall over there.
Let's watch from the back of Elton Sawyer, the CarQuest onboard camera.
Just starts around. You just see the back end ever so slightly start out, and he tries to correct it, but it hits that outside retaining wall before he can grab it. You see a lot of smoke from some other cars back here trying to avoid.
And we've only been 10 laps since the leaders were all in for tires. I got to believe they'll stay out, but I got to believe Gil Martin, Mike Skinner's crew chief, he's going to have to take a chance and get that race car in here and put that 3rd set of tires on.
Top it up with fuel. Are we in the wind? Are we?
No, but he's going to stay out. But he's got over 50 laps on his tires.
He's done a pretty darn good job of keeping up with these guys that already had fresh tires. So
how about this? We're just past halfway as Kevin LePage pits and Greg Biffle 5 laps after halfway, and Biffle has clinched the bonus for leading the most laps.
How about that?
That's pretty strong.
He's having a Mark Martin day.
Scott Wimer out of his car and okay. After banging the turn 2 wall. 6th caution of the afternoon. Tim Sauter, Chad Little on pit road. Under this caution, Jamie McMurray and Larry Foyt.
Chris, I'm up here. Look up here, man. Look up. No. I can fly. I'm in Stars and Stripes. You know, the Goodyear blimp? Buddy, you ought to see the view from up here. It is awesome. The racetrack. Darrell, I believe somebody's stealing your car. Speaking of hot air, let's take it back down to the booth.
Were you talking to us?
No, he wasn't talking to this Darrell. It must be my other brother, Darrell.
Jeff Hammond, our eye in the sky.
Do you know he blew that up himself?
There he is waving.
Yeah, he blew that blimp up himself. That's why they use him. He's up there just in case it gets a little leak in or something. He can air it back up.
That's the Goodyear blimp, Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida. Thanks for the great views.
Jimmy Johnson's around
by himself. No contact.
Harvick's right on Biffle's back bumper. Is Biffle going to give him another one back?
It's 3 down, looking for 2. This one might be a little tougher, Darrell.
Tough. Every time he gets one more back, I think it's going to get a little harder. Biffle he's not checking up like he has in the past. He said, buddy, I'm not going to do that for you all day long. I just tempted him a little bit.
Well, we're right back to the New Hampshire situation. I'm not giving you a lap back.
No.
You're not giving me a lap back.
5 down is one thing.
Right.
3 down, that's starting to get a little closer than I'd like to have my nearest competitor.
see what happened to Jimmy Johnson here up in turn 4.
That bad boy just turned around
with him. Nobody behind him there. You see the roof flaps come up, keeps the car settled on the ground.
Now, Darrell, he does something really interesting there in when he chooses to lock the brake. Is that a big factor in keeping that car off the wall?
You can never give up on a wreck, on a spin. When you start to spin, there's a lot of things you can do to save that car. You can gas it wide open, keep the rear tire spinning. That's going to try to keep it off the wall. But once it comes around, you got to get out of the gas and get on the brakes and keep the wheels turned to the left, and you'll stay out of the wall and you'll end up in the infield just like he did. Let's see, watch this. Here comes Harvick. He's riding along here, and he's
under caution.
He's saying, you know, bud, you could have done me a favor right there. I'm not that close. That's a little warning. I think that means I'm going to buy you another donut on the next restart.
No, I think that's okay. Now we're even. New Hampshire, he wouldn't let Biffle have a lap back. Now Biffle just denied him getting a lap back.
I don't know. That didn't look like a now we're even pointing to me.
Well, let's get back to Dick Berggren.
Yeah, we were saying that Harold Holly's car.
66 in the wall now. And here 3 more cars pile up. Parker, Lewis, Grubb, and Foyt piles in.
Wow. That's exactly what happened. This front straightaway is just so treacherous. Both of them are. Once a car gets out of shape, it goes straight down into that boiler plate.
Tim Fedewa in the 66. This is happening on the back stretch. On the other side of the racetrack from the wreck on the front stretch.
Well, I saw him get real loose up off the 2 there on the first lap, and he came off of turn 4 here, slapped the outside retaining wall, and that's how these other cars all got involved. They tried to check up and couldn't.
Larry, he probably damaged that car so much on the front stretch side that when he came off too, it just wouldn't turn and went around. Here's the aftermath. This straightaway looks wide, but when a car gets across it, it narrows up fast. And as we said at the top of the show, there are very few one-car accidents here.
Fedewa back there off of turn 4, he gets into the outside retaining wall. These other guys are just checking up a little bit because of him slowing down, and they got into each other.
Ooh, that's hard licks.
Larry Foyt came in there with a really fast.
From Hank Parker's camera.
Oh, he got turned around. Nowhere to go.
See how thick that inside wall is. It does not move.
There's Larry Foyt with Steve Park inside. Foyt checks up.
Park gets into the back of him and turns him around and sends him down into the accident, right into the side of Hank Parker.
Hits that wet grass down there, and the car just picks up speed.
Actually, has Ashton Lewis, 46.
Here's Fedewa. And the initial problem. Back on that in a moment. Kevin Grubb walking away.
Fedewa's car was really loose, Mike. Saw him off at 2 over there, and he got in trouble over there. Then he come around here and hit the outside wall.
Kevin Grubb, who you heard hoped for a strong day here at Dover. Here again, there goes Fedewa.
See how loose he was.
Just up out of the groove and slides right into the fence. And of course, what brought all these other cars into it was them slowing down, checking up because of him hitting the fence there in front of them.
Look at it. There's damage to the left rear of Fedewa, though.
Guys, if you look, whenever he sees the car spinning around here as he comes to turn 2 after hitting the wall off of turn 4, as he hit the wall coming off of turn 4, he actually broke the track bar mount, which keeps the rear end underneath the car. And as it came off the wall, the car is actually just kind of dancing around and driving itself. If you watch right here, he comes into the wall, boom, right there. If you'll notice right at the back, the rear end is kind of running around. See it come out beneath the car on the left-hand side? The thing is actually steering itself in the rear, and he's trying to keep up with it.
Look at the left rear corner of that car. I think maybe he got turned because that damage was there before he hit the wall.
Jay Sauter in the 43 car was right behind him, very close to him as they came off turn 4 before he hit the wall.
That possibly could have happened off of turn 2, and I looked up and saw him sideways over there. Then he come around here and hit the wall.
Yep. But for Larry Foyt, it's a short day for Ashton Lewis.
And what Jeff was talking about, this is a track bar. This hooks to the trailing arm on the left side. This hooks to the frame on the right side. A lot of times this part of brake or that part of brake and that's what holds the rear end in the center of the car. And when it breaks or a heim joint breaks rod end, the rear end has no way of staying in the center of the car. Dick Berggren.
Short day for Kevin Grubb. What happened?
It's hard to say. I was coming off turn 4 over there, and it looked like the 66 kind of got up into the wall, and after that, everybody just started spinning. I got Hank Parker. I think he locked the brakes up to keep from hitting somebody. He was sliding down the track. I ended up kind of T-boning him, and we were hung all the way down the front straightaway. But it's a bad deal for the Timberwolf car. Most of the time we run pretty good here at Dover, and I was just on air a little while ago talking about luck, and we sure haven't found it yet.
How wild a ride was that?
It was pretty wild because I couldn't see it. I couldn't tell where we were going or what we were getting ready to hit because we were hung up against the inside wall, and it's been raining all day. We went through some grass, we had water, and we had the whole 9 yards going. But yes, hopefully we can get the car back out there and get some points.
Disappointing day. This young man has won a pole. Here his career best finish in this series. A second was also here at Dover.
Under repair, Jamie McMurray and Rich Nickel on pit road. Here's another look as Hank Parker Jr. went around and went for the big slide on the big concrete mile. Caution's out again. We'll be right back to the Monster Mile.
Exactly right, Jeff. This is no place to not tell the driver everything. Whoa, something happened back there on the back.
For Jason Rudd, Ricky's nephew, and that's off the back straightaway.
Caution is on the speedway again here at lap 64.
Fourth time today we've had caution, including the 2.5-hour rain delay.
That bumper, Mike, and this track don't go together.
Buddy Baker once said, he said, this track has that foot-thick concrete wall backed up by the whole state of Delaware.
That's it. I hope that young man's all right. It's a pretty hard lick. You see a lot of damage to the car. They're talking to him. He seems to be fine. He's got his helmet off, getting the steering wheel out of the way. He's fine.
You see him taking the steering wheel off there. There's a quick release on that steering wheel. It just makes it easier to get in and out of the race car rather than having to climb in or around the steering wheel. Just a little old quick release.
Here's a look at what happened to Jason Rudd. Top of your screen. Around.
No help from behind, I don't think.
That's a hard
lick. A hard lick.
Yeah. That's just that old mean turn 2, Larry.
And you run downhill. Everything runs downhill.
Caution for the 4th time in this MBNA 200. You're watching NASCAR on FX. Welcome back to Dover, where we're under the 4th caution of the day. 33 laps from halfway, 133 laps from the checkered flag. In the MBNA 200, here's another look at what happened to Jason Rudd.
Now, when you come up out of the corner, right about where the back of his car jumps out, you can get right out here next to the wall. That's because you're accelerating hard, got the wheels turned left, and that back end will just jump out from under you. The back tires sometimes almost feel like they spin right there. The car gets so loose on exit. Pow! And if you're already a little bit loose, and then the thing comes up out there, and the back of the car gets a little light, and it'll jump right out from under you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, when they get the soft wall technology perfected, Darrell, that's one of the first places I'd like to see it, is the inside of these straightaways here at Dover.
By all means, Mike. I mean, a track that's banked down on the straightaways like this it'll be a perfect place for him.
All right, here's Jason Keller, who was 3rd on his last restart, 6th when he pitted. Steve?
Yeah, Jason Keller was the only one of the leaders to pit, Mike Joy. They pulled a spring run.
We are under caution at lap 159. The handling on Jeff Green's car had been deteriorating, and he'd been pushing higher and higher up the racetrack each time. And going into turn 1, something happened, and he found his way to the wall. Putting us under caution.
He didn't knock it down, but he sure did get into it pretty hard. A lot of right side damage. He slides up there, and just glances off of it. But it's done quite a bit of damage to that car. He's certainly not going to be in contention.
Now, some lead lap cars have pitted on this caution. Jeff Purvis is in, and so is Jason Keller.
And Chad Little, who made his lap up when
That's
that
right.
caution came out. Of course, obviously, Jeff Green's on pit road as well. It's a long way from the bottom of the racetrack to the top of it, isn't
Ooh,
it,
it is. And, of course, again, folks, you know, Chad Little did exactly what he needed to do. He stayed out in front of those leaders and got a lucky break and got his lap back.
Jeff Green was the points leader coming into this race.
Going right into behind the wall there. They got pretty significant damage.
Now he may be out of this race. They can make repairs from behind the wall and return.
40 laps to go. I'm sure they'll be able to get it back out there, but they're going to lose a lot of valuable time.
Jeff Green had a run of 7 straight top 10 finishes. But if he falls out of the race now, Kevin Harvick would retake the point lead.
Well, Harvick had, you know, some bad luck last week at Charlotte. And it just kind of goes around. But you've got 3 really strong contenders here for the championship. And it'll probably change again before they get to halfway of the season.
Tables turn in a short time.
40 laps to go in the MBNA 200 at Dover Downs as they work to try and get Jeff Green back on track.
Back at the ranch, I mean, trouble over there, the 7 car, turn 3.
Randy LaJoie pounded the wall.
Caution is out again.
Man.
So with 32 to go, we are back under caution. Can Tony Raines get back on the lead lap? Nope, he's got to pass 2 to do it. And I think he'll run out of time. Nope, we're going to make it.
He's going to make it. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 26 let Tony Raines in the 33 have his lap back.
Well, he was trying to get around here close enough to the start line where Skinner wouldn't get him. So really was playing it well.
What happened to Randy LaJoie here?
It's coming down the backstretch into turn 3, DW.
It's in there a little on the outside. Whoa, he just gets together with the
Tim Sauter.
Tim Sauter there. Just didn't have enough room to make that pass on the outside. It was a little early to be getting on the outside. They're getting in the corner.
But Darrell, you talked about that earlier, about closing speed as you're racing slower cars.
Oh, yeah, there's such a difference. Whoa, they just...
I believe LaJoie was okay. Tim Sauter just come up on it.
It looked like maybe that LaJoie being there made the back of Sauter's car come around just a little bit, and they made contact. A lot of damage. You just don't hit... Every time you hit the wall here is a lot of damage.
Pit road is open. All of our leaders are staying out. We may see some at the back of the pack, like Tony Raines that just got his lap back come in for 4 tires. Bobby Hamilton Jr., Mike Skinner, Jimmy Spencer, Elton Sawyer, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Steve Park, all those cars staying out. Jason Keller continuing to adjust on his car and staying on the lead lap. And the 33, Tony Raines, is on pit road.
The 7 cars just had a terrible day. Just not a normal day for that car. Jason Keller.
So Raines will replace LaJoie on the lead lap. We'll still have 16 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green. 30 to go now. So with the track under caution, we'll take a quick break and be back hopefully for the restart. Bobby Hamilton Jr. continues to lead Mike Skinner, and we're just 30 laps from the checkered flag. Sideways, Tim Sauter. Everybody's going to miss him.
Caution is on the speedway again.
A couple of cars got together back there, and Sauter paid the price. I believe it was the 38 car, Christian Elder.
8th caution of the day. That ties the record for this race. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the lead, trying to become the 13th driver to score their first Busch Series win at Dover.
See, we can see what happened. They were racing down there. I saw the smoke start to fly. Oh, yeah. Elder and Sauter got together and
all the way down the backstretch.
Boy, those guys.
Chad Little in the 74 and his teammate Tony Raines in the 33, both of them back on the lead lap, just got by.
Great job of driving from everybody to keep them getting into that.
A look from turn 3.
Boy, DW, that's the kind of wreck we talked about it earlier. One car, it's amazing. 5, 6, 7 more wasn't in that wreck.
Oh, yeah. It should have been.
Go low,
from Jeff Purvis.
Whoa, go low.
Because you know it's eventually going to come low. You better go real low.
Yeah, these tracks have this track has a self-cleaning banking. No matter where you are, you're going to end up at the bottom.
Christian Elder in the 38 car, of course, involved in that wreck with Tim Sauter. He's on pit road. Angie Skinner, Mike's wife, saying, Mike, can you get him here in about 22 or 23 laps?
Best shot is on the restart, looks to me like.
Yes, we can. Answers that question.
The man
24 laps to go. We'll be right back. Hey, Somebody call me a wrecker. That is the wrecker. Hey, somebody call me a wrecker.
All right, restart here. Looks to me like if Skinner has got any shot at all, on the inside as they head down the back, he's got a nose there. Yow!
He's there.
He's got the line.
They gets him. And Spencer comes through for the lead. Everybody's going to miss Hamilton. Don't ask me how. But we're back under caution for contact between Mike Skinner and Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Poor kid, it's just been his Achilles heel, is closing the deal. And the restarts, he just hadn't been able to get going. Give him a lap or so and he could get away from Skinner, but Skinner's right there on him on every restart.
Of course, Jimmy Spencer in that one car taking advantage of these cars getting together. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 26 trying to get to pit road. He's sitting just past the entrance of pit road. He knows there's no sense in trying to make another lap around the racetrack.
I'm not sure that was all the intentions he had at that moment.
I know where you're going. But let's have a look
at that 21 car.
Well, Hamilton left the bottom open.
Yeah, he's got a nose.
Skinner's there.
He's got a nose in there. He comes. Well, there's really. Ooh, Mike just gets up into him. That's what happens. I mean, you can't really fault Mike for sticking the nose in there, but the car slid up just enough. It got into Bobby Jr.
And everybody scatters to miss Hamilton. Another look. You see Skinner
car move up
coming up.
He just pushed up. He got into the side of him. Bobby gave him room. Mike just got in there hard underneath of him. And two cars side by side here. It's hard for that bottom car not to get up into that one on the outside. Plus, they both drove in there. I'm sure Mike drove in really hard because he knows this is his opportunity, and he had to try to capitalize.
How about Spencer for being in the right place at the right time to take advantage?
Oh, Spence shot right through there, didn't he?
Now let's ride with Matt Kenseth.
Side trouble. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. You clear. You clear the road. Yellow is out. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
From Kenny Wallace.
Watch it, watch it, watch it. Check it up. Check it up. Go, 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 go.
You know he's going to go to the bottom. You're just not sure when and how fast he's going to get there.
Steve Burns.
20 crew members down here in the number 26 pits of Bobby Hamilton Jr. The big problem they have right now, Mike, is the left front would not turn. They pulled the tire off. Lots of sheet metal damage to the left rear. Just bitter disappointment now, these guys. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Mike Skinner has his own problems with the number 21 car. The steering wheel is not straight in that car anymore, and that always means that the front end has moved out of alignment. They have asked the spotters around the racetrack what it looks like. Of course, they said everything is just fine. But imagine the anxiety as Skinner stands on it to go into the first corner on this green flag.
And folks, when we talk about the steering wheel, drivers are just like it's just like your passenger car. When you're driving straight down the interstate, you don't want the spokes one way or another. You want the wheel to be centered up. And when we hit something, then we have to compensate by holding the steering wheel in a different position. And that's how you know your front end's knocked out of line.
And normally what's happened, the weak link is a tie rod that goes from the drag length out to the wheels. One of those is bent, and that's what throws the steering off. And we're hearing that Jeff Green came in here as our points leader, is officially out of the race in the 10 car.
And he will be 29th in the final finishing order. Bobby Hamilton Jr. gave Mike Skinner enough room. Does the responsibility then fall to Skinner to keep his car on the bottom of the racetrack and away from Hamilton?
Yeah, if you want to point the finger, you got to point at Mike. That's kind of the way I look at it. He was racing hard, they're racing for the lead, but you have to respect the leader. I never like to see the leader taken out.
Jimmy Spencer is now that leader as Hamilton hops a ride. Mike Skinner in second. Spencer beats Skinner to the caution flag. Elton Sawyer is third. He's been strong all day. Jimmy Johnson is fourth. Matt Kenseth has at many times been the fastest car on the racetrack. He's fifth.
But Jimmy Spencer, remember on that restart right after they changed tires some 20-something laps ago, we heard he got a little bit loose on the lower air pressures and his car starting to tighten up. He's going to be tough to pass, DW.
Oh, he is. And, of course, the only guy I think that's got a real shot at him is Kenseth. And he's still got 3 other cars to get around before he gets to Jimmy.
Not only that, but Kenseth is the 5th place car, Darrell, but he's restarting 10th because of the 5 cars on the inside line a lap down. Double file restart.
3 cars between him.
Kenseth loosening up Johnson, who slices down in front of him in turn 1.
Yeah, he's holding him up big time.
Oh, he gets him loose. He's going around.
He's gone.
That's too bad.
And he comes down those self-cleaning bankings, and everyone else gets by on the high side. Caution is out.
Well, I don't like to see this when guys are, getting into guys and turning them around like that. You need to be able to. You need to drive a little more respectful than that.
But that's the second time today we've seen Jimmy Johnson in that 92 get loose with somebody right up underneath him.
Another guy that has trouble closing the deal. He runs good, and I call him Headache Man, and he's going to have another one today.
Now. Yep, at both ends of that car.
I just think you got to be a little bit more respectful of the guys in front of you when you're racing as close as they are.
Did they touch? Let's see.
Well, I'm sure they did. He's got a little bit of room around the bottom. It doesn't take hard. The car is so light right there. All it takes is just a little nudge. It doesn't take a bump. You don't have to jam into him. Just a little nudge and around you go. Because you're coming out of there, the back of the car is real light. I told you how it tries to spin the tires. Somebody nudges on the back of that thing and around it goes.
Yeah, he already had him loose, so all you got to do is just right there, just a little bit.
It just really should be a little more respectful, I think. Skinner should have been. I believe Kenseth should have been as well.
If that bumper was an inch shorter on Matt Kenseth's car, it wouldn't have happened. I mean, it's just right there. That's all it was.
Just opens that bottom up a little bit. Jimmy Johnson does. That gives Kenseth a chance to get the nose down there, but still, Jimmy Johnson had the position. When you hit somebody in the rear like that, that's not a good thing.
From Matt Kenseth's car.
Johnson goes up. He comes back down to protect the bottom, which he should do. And just nudged him a little bit.
Yellow.
If you were down there in that corner right about there, and you just reached out and touched the back of that car, it would do the same thing. That's how light and how loose you are at that point.
Now, behind the accident.
Trouble off at 2. Trouble off at 2.
Jamie McMurray gets the boot as he checks up.
Car's down low.
In front of either Jeff Purvis or Mike McLaughlin.
I got the front of my nose.
That's Purvis.
That's probably Purvis, and that's unfortunate.
That's Purvis. No, that's McLaughlin.
All right, we're here, and it'll be...
Caution is out here at Kentucky Speedway for the first time tonight, and it comes out on lap 16, and there's the reason why. Clay Rogers spun it in turn number 3, which Darrell has been calamity corner all weekend, and backed it up into the wall.
Yeah, it has. It's a little bumpy getting into turn 3. Most of the guys felt like in race conditions and race setup they were going to be fine, but he got that thing around big time, and I think we got an in-car camera with him. We might be able to see what's going on here.
Jeff, heavy damage on that left rear.
I'm telling you, he's really hit it hard with the left rear. The car appears it's going to have a trailing arm, possibly rear end housing. The crew's looking underneath it right now. Totally disgusted. You can tell by the look on their faces. This car is going to have to go behind the pit wall if they expect to, get the repairs done to get this car back on the racetrack.
Earlier,
I'd say so. That's pretty serious on the left side. There didn't look that bad on the right. Maybe we can see what happened here. He's got an in-car camera. Let's see what we can see. Coming down the back here, he's driving in. He's out of the throttle. Ooh, looked like the back end, just nobody around him. Didn't look like he drove it in that hard. A lot of guys were telling me that corner is deceptive, that you can just drive down in there and you think you can drive it way in, but the cars get loose.
Now that is where the tunnel is to access this turn, and we saw that car take just a little hop,
yep,
and then away it went.
Yeah.
We're under caution for the first time tonight in the Outback Steakhouse 300. We're under caution at lap 18. Here's another look from the Visine onboard cam, the roof cam on Clay Rogers.
He come off turn 2, start down the back. Car looks good. I was looking at a couple of spots up on the windshield. Don't see them. Yeah, there's a couple little spots popped up there, but nothing serious. Mike, you said it looked like the car moved a little bit on him.
Looked like it had a little hop and a second hop, and then away it went.
That's, if you got a bump on the racetrack, how about it, Jeff? What are they telling you down there?
Well, we called up here with Clay Rogers. Clay, the guys in the booth want to know what happened.
Well, we were pretty loose to start out with, and the car seemed like it was getting better and better every lap, and we run up on that group there behind us, and I don't know. It just snapped loose on me getting in. I don't know. I mean, I was backing myself up, getting in the corners. I don't feel like I did anything to drive in too hard and lose it, but that's beside the point. I backed it in the wall, and I didn't have any help, so I just hate it for these Visine guys. They work really hard. This car is the same car we got wrecked in the race with at Nashville, and it came back twice as good, and I just hate it. This is really going to hurt them in the points.
All right, thank you, Clay. I think we're going back green. Mike Joy?
Clay Rogers, whose best finish this season, to wall and hard. That is Ronnie Hornaday, another third-generation driver, and the son of Winston Cutler, Ron Hornaday Jr. And that will put us under caution. What a horrible break for Kenny Wallace, Randy LaJoie, David Green, Jay Sauter caught in the pits, Stedman Marlin, Christian Elder, and Marty Houston all made pit stops under green. Now we are under caution at lap 67 for Ronnie Hornaday.
I think Jason Keller may be one that also got bitten by that caution flag.
And he'd already gone a lap down, Darrell, when he ran out of gas.
Yeah, he was coasting real slow all the way from the back straightaway. So he
see Ronnie moving around in the car.
Ronnie had trouble in that corner at the start of the race. He got up high, and it never fails. Everybody's talked about turn 3, and that's kind of the treacherous corner, and kind of be careful there. And we have trouble in turn 1.
Hornaday, one of 3 drivers making their first ever Busch Series start today.
You can see that he's hit that wall very, very hard. It stunned him. He's sitting down beside his car there. Knocked the breath out of him, I'm sure. He's kind of holding his arm like it might have hurt his arm.
Catching his breath. Car pretty.
He's going to get through.
Whoa.
Looks like he's going to come to rest.
No caution yet?
Yeah, we got to have a caution.
There it is.
Yeah, we got to have one.
All right, here's the laps back deal coming back to the start-finish line.
Buddy, we got a lot of people racing hard to get laps back right here. Harvick's going to slow down. Button's going to get one back.
Now there's Sauter right with him.
Sauter's going to get one back, and there's a car sitting right in the middle of the race. Oh, he got down out of the way. Christian Elder was just getting going. He was right up in the way.
So score 1 for Keller, for Ruttman, and Jay Sauter, who had made pit stops under green before the caution came out. So they are back up, gaining back a lap and running 1-2. Oh, big surprise. Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle.
Oh, yeah. Action's getting ready to pick up, folks. I guarantee you. These guys, they don't really dislike each other, but they want to be in the same spot all the time.
Yeah, everybody, come on back from the concession stand now.
Yeah.
This could get big.
Yeah, this is a classic battle. Ford, Chevrolet, 2 guys that really have had, a lot of close calls on the racetrack. It's going to be fun to watch. See, Christian Elder just got the thing around going into 3 there. Got down in the grass.
Let's have a look at Tim Fedowa right behind all this in that 00. Looking inside. Purvis up the hill. Uh-oh. Hang on.
And that's exactly what the spotter is saying. Whoa.
Yeah, that 00 was almost uh-oh. Was almost the uh-oh.
Double nothing.
All right, 78 laps complete. The caution out for Christian Elder's spin. It's the 3rd caution of the evening. In the wall.
Just what I was talking about. Jimmy Johnson was holding him up, and he was down on the inside. It just sucked him around.
It will bring out the caution as we complete lap 89. Remember, Jeff Green came in here 2nd in the points, 75 behind Kevin Harvick, and Jimmy Johnson came in here 8th in the standings.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Mike. This is a classic. You can't run side by side lap after lap. Not as close as these guys were running. And what happened was Jimmy Johnson, they go down in the corner here. You'll see Green drives in there with him. They get a little loose. Around they go. Jimmy Johnson was keeping Green pinned down to the bottom, wasn't giving him much room, and spun both cars out. That's not to say Jimmy Johnson was doing anything wrong. It's just
no.
You got to have more room in that to race. How about it, Matt? Car tore up pretty bad.
Oh, look at that spoiler, Darrell.
Oh, it's.
I'm here.
Matt?
Well, Mike, they've shut the car off. They're going to put tires on it, take it back to the garage and fix it because they can only go out once and try to fix this car. But they were very upset. Harold Holly did say, let's just get our composure, take the car back to the garage and get it fixed, try to get as many points as we can, just not lose our cool.
But it's two cars trying to find the one sweet spot in the racetrack where you can go in there and stick, and they were both right there at the same time.
And I think Green's probably frustrated. You know, he was leading the race, had trouble in the pits, gets back in traffic, and that's what happens. And I'm sure that's what they're talking about in the pit there, in his pit area. Let's get our composure back.
Jeff Green has already had 3 did not finishes, DNFs in 2001. Only had 2 all of last year, his championship season. There they go from Hank Parker's car. And we're under caution again for the 4th time tonight. We're under trouble in 4. One car goes around and up toward the wall and in it. Caution's out. Harvick pedaled it, but Mark Green did not beat him back to the line, I don't believe. And it's David Donohue, who had returned to the track from the garage, picked up about 8 positions in the Ed Renzi Team Marines car.
I believe he did that same spin at the beginning of the race and didn't hit anything.
Right.
And you know, I can't tell if he made contact this time or not. There doesn't seem to be much damage to the car, and he's driving off under his own power. I really don't think he hit it again this time. See him wiggling the car around to see if he's got any tires flat spotted, which I'm sure he does.
I thought he bumped it, and
yeah, he's got a little right. Yeah, it's a little right rear damage, but he's dodged a couple of bullets.
Another 2nd generation racer, Donohue.
They still got that bullseye on the back of that car?
Might have just rubbed it off just now.
No way are you going to get a lap back tonight.
Oh, trouble in 4.
Big trouble.
One car, a hard hit, spun around, hit it again. Ouch.
Is that Phil Parsons?
Yes, it is.
Boy, he hit that wall hard. Got spun around some way. The only way you're going to get a lap back tonight on Harvick, and he is doing it, was he's going to let you get one back.
Yep, there goes LaJoy.
There goes LaJoy by.
Here comes everybody.
And if anybody was close enough, there just wasn't that many close enough. There's been a good chance to get one back, but you're not going to drive by Harvick, I can tell you that.
No, LaJoy is the only one who could capitalize. Marty Houston and Jason Keller unable to. And Phil Parsons hit the wall with a corner and had one of the just snap spins right back into the wall. So it was a double whammy for Phil. And he'll get it around to the garage area to be repaired. Parsons was 8th in the first ever race when they called this the NASCAR Busch Series in February of '82.
He's just been...
Oh, and he spins out right in front of traffic. And everybody gets by.
Boy, he's just been driving the wheels off that car all night long.
And finally did.
And finally drove them off. Literally.
Did Jason Keller
I think he's going to get a lap back.
I'm not sure where Harvick was when the caution flag waved. Yes, he did already get the caution flag, so Jason Keller's in front of him now, but did Keller beat him back to the flag? That's what we'll check with scoring.
He was right there, so yeah, he didn't. They're stopping him here at the start-finish line, telling him to get behind the leader.
And Joe Ruttman's evening in the James Finch #1 draws to a close here with the back end stove in.
Got another car spun around over on the back straightaway over there.
David Green.
Tires
Ooh, look
flat.
at the left rear. Look at the left
tires are all
side.
flat.
Sorry, look at the left side of that.
I don't know what happened to him. That's just fire from fuel in the tailpipe. That's not a problem. But those flat tires are.
So we're under caution for the 7th time tonight. Is there a full moon or what? It's been a big night in Kentucky, dedicating the visitor center and statue of Darrell Waltrip at Victory Lane of the '89 Daytona 500, a moment that he recreated with his then crew chief and now Fox colleague Jeff Hammond. Took a ride around the track with a Dale Earnhardt #3 flag in the car that he won the 500 in. And then the real fireworks started. Jeff Green going to have a tough night and drop out of 2nd in the point standings after that crash with Jimmy Johnson.
Not a happy camper either.
Nope.
And from then on, 8th caution of the night, Tim Sauter, and turn 3, which has been Calamity Corner all weekend.
Boy, it really has. That's if we can tell. Whoa, McLaughlin's in trouble now, Mike. He's got a...
Yeah, that car's been slow and way off the pace, and now it appears it is blowing itself up.
Let's see if we can see what happened to the 61 car here. Going down the back, there's Hank Parker going by David Green. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hank Parker, 61 car didn't quite have him cleared. Hank probably should have, might have, could have let him in. And I guess everybody will say, oh, it's just one of them racing deals.
Let's see. Now let's see from Hank. Let's see if the 61 moves up.
It's pretty well in front of Hank right here. Oops. Oops.
Yep.
I think that's probably a product of the spotter not telling Sauter that the 36 car was still there.
There's Tim climbing in. He's okay after climbing out of that car under his own power. Hard call to make, Darrell, when you've got to run on a fellow who's already side by side with somebody, and you know he's going to come up the racetrack a ways, and you're coming, you're coming, you're coming.
Yeah, even if Hank should lift, I don't know that they would have not made contact because he moved over just a little bit and they clipped.
Mike McLaughlin has only one DNF in 2001, a wreck at Texas. He's going to try to nurse that motor another 30 laps, and we'll be right back. This is NASCAR on FX.
Whoa, there he goes.
Oh,
there
Biffle's around, and Earnhardt got him, and up and over goes the 21 of Quaffle.
Another Richard Childress car, and this one is upside down.
9th caution, lap 183, so close to the finish, and yet so far.
Yeah, you know, I think Biffle came into pits, and I think they must have made the car might have been tight, and they must have made a change on it, and the car was really, really loose, and it just came right around on him as they came off turn 2 over there.
25-year-old Travis Quaffle, like Biffle, a Wisconsin driver. Movement, yeah, he's coming out.
It wasn't like it was a violent flip and rolling crash. He just got into the side of Biffle's car and got himself turned up on his side, and it just rolled on over. Pretty gentle, really, as far as a rollover goes. And scary if you're in the car, obviously.
Shame Kerry Earnhardt got caught up in that.
Yeah, it is. You just mentioned his name, and I was thinking, well, he's going to make it through the evening.
Now they're going to red flag this race, Darrell. There are 17 laps to go, and obviously it's going to be a rather complicated procedure, get that car over and onto a rollback. So we're told the field is going to be halted.
Well, the caution's still out, so they're, I guess they all got to get across the start-finish line before they can stop them. The pace car seems to be dropping down the inside. I'm sure they're telling them on the radios that they're going to stop the cars down in turn 1. For scoring purposes, they got to get everybody across the start-finish line.
All right, let's see what happened here. There's Biffle on the inside, Hamilton on the outside.
Again, when you get side by side, your car's a little loose. You can see the back of Biffle's car just starting out right there. It's out a little bit, out a little bit. It comes around. As the 26 car starts by on the outside, it just sucks that back in around.
And there's Kerry Earnhardt.
Kerry, who makes slight contact. But here's the one that, see, he's got the wheels turned, trying to go around Biffle's car, and the car just kind of pole vaults over on its side and then gets upside down. And of course, you got to realize something. He's hanging upside down. There he is.
And he's out and he's okay.
You're hanging upside down in the car. They can't just take the seat belts loose or he'll crash into the top of the car.
Now, all those black straps, I believe that's Bobby Hutchins' device, the Richard Childress engineer that he's worked on for supplemental restraint.
Here we go. These guys are coming off, and you can see right there the back of Biffle's car is a little loose. He never makes any contact with the 26. Spins around right in front of Kerry Earnhardt, and here comes the 21 car. And see, he was trying to turn out from behind him. Also back here, I believe that's Christian Elder spins around as well. There's a car down here in the grass.
Yes.
Wow. Cars going everywhere. What a mess.
Here's a different look at it.
Just gets it loose up off that corner, and that's real time, and it happens so fast.
Quaffle was a lap down in 21st position at the time.
I don't know who that car right there was, but he didn't have any idea which way to go. He kept waiting and waiting and waiting to see what was going to happen to the 21 cars that was sliding on its roof.
Yeah, the racetrack was pretty well littered with cars, and Kerry Earnhardt came back up the racetrack, so he had to move. Now everybody has, you notice what a nice job of parking here like this, but there's a purpose to that.
Oh yeah, there's a method to their madness. There's a little banking there. If the car perhaps would not start, the starter maybe wouldn't engage, or battery low or whatever, you can get a little roll down that hill, put it in second gear, and pop the clutch, and hopefully she'll take off.
So we're under the red flag at Kentucky Speedway following this 9th caution flag of the night. 16 laps before we crown the first winner of the Outback Steakhouse 300. All right, let's get an update from the track hospital. Here's Jeff.
Well, we just got Travis as he come out of the Inferior Care Center. First off, how are you?
I'm fine. Man, that was one heck of a ride. I really feel bad for the Rockwell Automation team. We started off real well. We kind of struggled there in the middle of the race. We had some problems we had to get taken care of. You know, we were just trying to finish this race out. Biffle spun coming off of 2, and I hit him with my right front and just sent me over. But, you know, I feel bad for the guys, but I'm just fine.
What kind of a feeling was that when the car got up and when it started going over?
Oh, it happened so fast. You know, I was just, once I knew it was on my lid, I was just waiting for somebody to hit me, and I was thankful that, you know, the guys did a good job not hitting me. And, you know, I was kind of a sitting duck there. Once I was stopped, I was just trying to get out of there.
Well, fortunately for Travis, he's doing very well. I think ready to go again. Hopefully next week.
Yeah, we'll go get him next week at Memphis in the Cat Rental Store truck.
Mike,
there's TK's wild ride. Up and over.
It just got over on that left front. That's the weakest spring, real weak spring in that left front, and that thing just mechanically coil binded and locked up right there and just let the car roll over.
All right, let's get an update on our 5th place car, Matt.
Well, Mike, when Ashton Lewis went to refire that number 46 machine,